Hun, how long have we been married now, and you still haven't introduced me to your parents? Jessica said to her husband Ethan. Ethan fell silent. He didn't know how to tell her that he didn't have any family left. His parents had passed away long ago. He felt ashamed to tell his wife the truth, especially since she came from a close, happy family. "Are you embarrassed to introduce me to your parents?" Jessica asked. Ethan quickly shook his head. "Of course not. Why would I be embarrassed to introduce someone as beautiful and kind as you?" Ethan replied, and Jessica smiled. "Ethan, introduce me to your parents already." Jessica beamed and hugged him. "Okay, honey, this weekend," Ethan answered. Jessica squealed with delight. "Yay, I'm so excited to meet them. Wait, what should I bring as a gift when we visit?" Ethan cupped Jessica's face. "Whatever you bring, I'm sure they'll be happy with it." "All right, I'll go shopping tomorrow for gifts," Jessica said, holding out her hand. "But I need money, hun." Ethan frowned. "Didn't I give you some last time?" Jessica pouted. "I bought some makeup. It's brand new. You know I don't want to fall behind on what's trendy." She fluttered her eyelashes cutely at Ethan. He sighed and took money from his wallet. "Told you, you can't resist me," Jessica smirked. Ethan let out a long breath. "I love you." Jessica hugged him tightly. "I love you too, Ethan." "After all these years, Ethan finally agreed to introduce your parents to you?" Katie asked, Jessica's best friend. Jessica, trying on dresses, nodded happily. "Yep, I'm excited to meet his parents," Jessica said dreamily. Katie thought for a moment. "Wow, girl, you put up with 2 years of not being introduced. You didn't even visit them when you first got married." Jessica picked up a red dress and checked herself in the mirror. It looked perfect on her. "I don't mind, as long as Ethan gives me everything I want. What else could I possibly want? Ethan's handsome, he has a job, he's well off." Jessica smiled at the thought. Katie paused. "I can't believe you stuck with him for 2 years before meeting his parents. Back in college, didn't people talk about him being rich?" Jessica shrugged. "Rumors are rumors. But honestly, I married him because I thought he was wealthy. He's simple, sure, but I've seen his wallet. He can give me anything I ask. New makeup, dresses, anything." She tapped Katie's shoulder. "I'm his wife. I know, Ethan's rich. I don't know why he never told me, but I've felt it." "Okay," Katie said, rolling her eyes. "Anyway, aren't we at the mall to buy gifts for your future in-laws? Why are you trying on dresses?" Jessica scanned a rack of newly arrived dresses. "I have to buy something new. I need to look beautiful in front of Ethan's parents. I want to impress them." Katie sighed inwardly. She knew the college gossip about Ethan being from a wealthy family. Jessica had courted him herself. She had won him over until he loved her. Once they were together, he gave her everything she wanted. She never asked whether the rumors were true because she didn't want Ethan to think she only wanted his money. Besides, Ethan was handsome and kind. She felt like she'd hit the jackpot. She didn't hesitate to marry him when he proposed. "Do you think they're like this, Ethan?" Jessica asked, holding up a paper bag. "I wasn't sure what they'd want, so I thought of buying medicine and vitamins." Ethan smiled. "That's fine, hun. What you bought is good. I'm sure they'll appreciate it." Jessica assumed Ethan's parents were in the countryside, so they'd drive out there. She pictured a big estate with many helpers and air conditioning in the house. After all, she believed Ethan was wealthy. She imagined an impressive property greeting them when they arrived. They stopped the car and Jessica peered outside, puzzled to see a small house that looked like a rustic cabin. "Why did you stop? Are we broken down?" she asked. Ethan smiled and turned off the engine. "Hun, we're here." Ethan got out and opened the car door. "Hun, where are we?" "This is my parents' house, hun." Jessica was stunned. She looked around. It was a simple cabin with plants surrounding it. It was nice, but it was not the grand estate she had expected. She had pictured a large mansion. An elderly woman came out. "Ethan, Ethan, is that you?" she called, smiling. "Mom," Ethan rushed forward and hugged her. "I'm so glad you visited, son. I missed you." The woman looked at Jessica. "Is this Jessica?" Ethan nodded. "Mom, this is my wife, Jessica." The woman clapped with joy. Finally, I meet Ethan's wife. Hello, dear, I'm Bella. Bella reached out to shake Jessica's hand, but Jessica hesitated. Hun, Jessica looked at Ethan, puzzled about why she was reluctant to shake his mother's hand. Sorry, dear, my hands are dirty, Bella apologized, quickly withdrawing her hand. I've been planting in the back. Jessica forced a smile. That's okay, ma'am, it's fine. Bella waved them in. Come in and rest. I know you're tired from the trip. They stepped into the cabin. Jessica glanced around. The interior was simple and there was no air conditioning. Only an electric fan provided some circulation. She met Ethan's father as well and saw there wasn't any luxurious item in the house. Suddenly, the rumors about him being wealthy felt questionable. Maybe Ethan only provided for her because he had a steady job. Ethan, what are you doing here? It's cold outside, you'll catch something, Jessica said, finally asking the question she'd been holding back for a long time. Hun, tell me the truth, are you rich? She asked, surprised when Ethan laughed. Who told you that? He asked, amused. You know, people at the university were talking, and you give me whatever I want, so I believed it, Jessica explained. Ethan frowned. If I have money, it's because I work hard. Besides, this is my parents' house. He pointed to the cabin. This is my life, and I'm not rich. Jessica stepped back, shocked. You're not rich? What was the point of marrying you then? Ethan grew more puzzled. What do you mean? Jessica smoothed her hair and spoke coldly. You know, I married you thinking you were wealthy. Now that you're not, there's no reason for me to stay. What if you lose your job? Will you still be able to give me everything? I married you because I thought you were rich. Now that I know you're not, I'm leaving you. Ethan blinked in disbelief. What are you saying? He asked earnestly. I'm divorcing you, Jessica said firmly. Ethan reached for her hand. Hun, don't be like this, let's talk. No, Jessica shook off his hand. There's nothing to talk about. I married you because I thought you were rich. Now that I know you're not, I have no reason to stay. Jessica left Ethan standing in the doorway. He couldn't believe what he had just heard. How could his wife of 2 years and girlfriend of 1 year have married him for money? He stumbled back to reality when Bella clapped her hands loudly in front of him. Boss, boss, someone called. A voice snapped Ethan back to the present. It was Allison, his bubbly secretary. Welcome back to Earth, boss, Allison teased. Ethan frowned. He had been staring blankly. Is something wrong, boss? If there's a problem, I'll help, Allison asked kindly, concerned. Ethan didn't answer. His thoughts had drifted to that messy moment, Jessica declaring she'd left him after thinking he was poor. He remembered his complicated past 3 years earlier, a painful experience that had shaped him. Allison looked at him quizzically. Boss. Ethan looked up at Allison, his mischievous, talkative secretary. She had only been with the company a year, a fresh graduate. His previous secretary had left because she got pregnant and wanted to focus on family life. Allison, though talkative, did her job well. He had initially doubted she could handle the role, but she learned quickly and proved herself. Allison, are you here to gossip with me? Ethan raised an eyebrow. All right, boss, you're hot-headed today, she joked. It's hot outside and you're hot-headed. Maybe your office will catch fire. Allison teased, which made Ethan crack a smile. She put a folder on his desk and extended a pen as if presenting a sword to a king. That can wait. I have work to finish, Ethan said. Allison's eyes widened. Boss, it can't wait. If you don't sign, payroll won't be released and people won't get paid. She dramatized the situation to tug at his heart. Ethan thought of the responsibility. Fine. He picked up the pen and signed. Allison's face lit up. Thanks so much, boss. Coffee on me at Starbucks to say thanks, she said. Ethan smiled. I'll hold you to that. Allison winked and left the office, clutching her chest the way people do when they're flustered. She had a huge crush on Ethan. He was handsome and kind, even if he sometimes looked stern. She didn't show it to him. She feared it would cost her the job, but seeing him every day was enough. Back at home, Allison called her mom. Did you get the things I sent, Mom? Yes, honey, thank you, but why did you send so much? Her mother asked, laughing. All right, I sent too much because my youngest sibling needs new shoes. They have holes and water gets in, Allison explained. Her mother scolded lightly, you spoil your siblings too much, you'll have nothing left. Allison smiled, don't worry about me, I'll manage, take care, Mom. She had put aside money for rent and layaway payments. At the office, the next morning, Allison greeted Ethan cheerfully, placing his coffee on his desk the way she always promised she would. You really bought it, Ethan said, surprised. All part of a promise, she said. He grew silent for a moment, then said softly, not all promises get kept. He thought of the promise the wrong woman had made him long ago, that she would stay through hardship and comfort. She left when she found out he was poor. Allison, you're slipping away, he murmured jokingly as she'd gotten dramatic before. She threatened him about payroll getting delayed. One of the employees even said she had to pay into a layaway-style group that Allison herself had used to buy a sofa set for her family. Ethan learned through Allison she had a humble background, a farmer father, a laundress mother, and 3 younger siblings she supported while studying and working. He admired how honest she was, she shared everything. He liked that about her. It was refreshing compared to his ex-wife, who had been two-faced. He enjoyed Allison's blunt kindness. Allison, are you here to gossip? He teased. Allison pushed back at his tease. Boss, you're always so serious, and you're hot-headed today. Stop it, he said. I need your signature. She laid the paperwork on the desk and, as always, played up her charm. Fine, he said, signing. Allison squealed with joy and promised to buy him coffee. One day when they were out eating, Gavin, Ethan's close friend, nudged him. You're never going to get married again, are you? Or at least find a new girlfriend. Ethan sighed. After what happened to me, do you think I trust women again? Gavin shook his head. Man, what happened to you was rough, especially when the woman you loved only wanted your money. If she finds out you're actually wealthy, she'll come crawling back. Ethan kept quiet. He kept the truth of his wealth hidden. His real parents had died when he was just 17. His adoptive parents raised him. He didn't inherit everything right away. He worked his way up through the company, earning the position of chairman by merit. He preferred someone who loved him for who he was, not for money. That's the thing, he said quietly to Gavin. I wanted to be loved for myself. Gavin smirked. Maybe she's out there nearby, who knows? Maybe the right woman will just appear. Ethan rolled his eyes. Don't start with destiny stuff. At that moment, a waitress approached their table with their order. Ethan recognized her voice and looked closer. Allison. Allison, startled, saw Ethan. Boss, what are you doing here? She asked. What are you doing here? He asked, surprised to see her working part-time at the diner. She nodded proudly. Yes, boss, I work here part-time after the office. I'm here until midnight. Ethan was taken aback. Why, is the salary at my company not enough? Allison shook her head. No, it's not that. I need extra because my siblings need money for school. I can handle it. I've been doing this for 2 weeks. Gavin grinned. Seeing her serve customers, you can tell she's hardworking. She's the kind of woman I told you about. Honest, family-oriented. Ethan tried not to smile. I'm not going to pursue Allison. She's too young for me, 4 years younger. Gavin teased that age didn't matter. They finished their meal. Later, Allison came into Ethan's office to give him his daily schedule and told him, casually, that he had a dinner meeting with Mr. Stanton. Allison's face changed. Boss, do you want me to come to the dinner meeting? She asked. Ethan was surprised. Why? Allison explained she had her part-time shift after work. Ethan frowned. He worried about how people would view her working late as a waitress when she had a good job at his company. He reminded her that she had a college degree and should be proud of her job, but Allison insisted she was not embarrassed. She worked honestly to provide for her family. Ethan admired her dedication. You're incredible. Family is everything to you, he told her. Allison smiled shyly. Later, Allison received a phone call late at night. Her mother cried on the line. Her father had been rushed to the hospital with a hypertensive attack and was in the ICU. Allison rushed home to the rural town as fast as she could, afraid and frantic. At the hospital, her father's condition improved, but the bills piled up. Allison worried. She did everything she could, borrowing from acquaintances, but still fell short of $30,000 to clear the bill. She sat outside the hospital, washing her face, wondering where she could get the remaining money. Then someone entered the room, Ethan. Allison was stunned. "Boss, what are you doing here?" she asked. Her mother came forward, eyes shining with gratitude. "You didn't tell me your boss was so kind." Ethan approached and said gently, "I'm here because I got worried when you texted that you'd be absent and then stopped answering. I tried calling and you didn't pick up." Allison explained she'd been looking for money. Ethan's expression softened. "Why didn't you tell me? I'll lend you the money. You shouldn't have borrowed from someone else." Allison blushed. "I'm embarrassed, boss. You just increased my salary. I can't accept a loan." Ethan took her hand. "I want to help you. I want to be your support while you're struggling. I want to be there when you're down." His words made Allison's heart race. "Do you do this for other employees?" she asked. Ethan shot her a look. "What do you think I am, a player?" Allison smiled. "Honestly, I miss it when you were stern. I like it." Ethan took her hands and confessed the truth about his past, how he was hurt by a woman who left him because she thought he was poor. He told Allison how he had closed his heart to love until he met her and how she changed everything. He told her he loved her. "Allison," he said, kissing the back of her hand, "I love you." Allison's breath caught. "Boss, I didn't tell you I was ready for this, but if you're willing to wait, I know what I want. I want to make my family okay first." Ethan smiled. "I'll wait. I want to help. I want to provide for you and your family. I'll do everything." Allison, overwhelmed, promised she'd try to be strong and loyal. Ethan hugged her and told her she could hug him anytime. They embraced, and Allison felt she had finally found someone who would take care of her. Ethan introduced himself to Allison's family not as her boss, but as her suitor. Her family was ecstatic. Her mother cried, saying they had finally found someone who would take care of their daughter. They stayed in the countryside for a while. Ethan helped with chores, chopping wood, and cooking with Allison's mother. Ethan postponed returning to the city until her father improved. Allison teased him about being the boss at the farm, and he kissed her hand, saying she was the boss of his life. Before returning to New York City and work, Ethan had one more surprise for Allison, someone he wanted her to meet. It turned out to be his own adoptive mother Bella again, and later on his reveal, he wasn't poor. He owned Raymond Corporation. The truth finally came out in a dramatic restaurant scene. While out one evening, Jessica, Ethan's ex-wife, and her new companion encountered Ethan and Allison at a high-end restaurant. Jessica insulted Ethan for being with a waitress, mocking his poverty and calling Allison unworthy. Allison calmly defended Ethan, refusing to be belittled. A tense exchange erupted. Jessica's companion introduced him as Mr. Raymond, the owner of the company where Ethan worked. Jessica's jaw dropped. "What, you own Raymond Corporation?" she cried. "You lied to me when we were married," Jessica accused, clinging to Ethan. "You said you were poor." Ethan looked at Jessica calmly. "Yes, I lied, but I had reasons. I wanted someone to love me for who I am, not for money. I thought you loved me back then. But when you left me because you thought I was poor, you showed what you truly wanted. I forgive that, but I don't love you anymore." He pulled Allison close. "Allison is the one I love now. She's better than you. She's the woman who's right for me." Ethan's declaration stunned Jessica. Allison felt her heart pounding as Ethan professed his love to her in front of everyone. He explained why he loved Allison. She cared for her family and refused to accept handouts. She worked hard and never demanded things, and she had integrity. "See, Jessica," Ethan told her, "I loved Allison because of her heart. She's not after my money. She chooses to work and to support her family." Ethan took Allison's hand and they left together. To spite Jessica, he took her to a modest diner rather than a fancy restaurant. "Isn't the food fine here, hun? At least you're not as picky as my ex-wife," he teased. Allison smiled and said she was happy. Ethan wanted to avoid talking about Jessica because he didn't want old feelings to resurface. Allison laughed and teased him back, calling him boss affectionately until he asked her to stop. She'd grown accustomed to calling him that. He told her she could call him whatever she liked. After all, she was the boss of his heart. They returned to the city and tried to be professional at work. Ethan, however, couldn't help showing his affection. Flowers were delivered to Allison, making colleagues speculate about who the suitor was. Allison tried to insist she didn't need flowers, she only wanted to be loved honestly, but secretly she enjoyed being spoiled a little. One evening after work, they went out to a fancy restaurant again. There they ran into Jessica, who was shocked to discover Ethan was wealthy. Jessica tried to win him back, insisting she still loved him, but Ethan stood firm. He told Jessica he no longer loved her. He had found his true match in Allison. Ethan and Allison's relationship blossomed. They dated properly, Ethan courted her, and they waited until the youngest of Allison's siblings graduated before they married, honoring Allison's priorities. They soon had a big family of their own, 5 children, just the way Allison wanted. They often visited the countryside to let their children experience rural life. The story ends with a universal truth: true love isn't about money. Even if someone is poor, if you truly love them and accept them wholeheartedly, you'll see who truly loves you in times of hardship. Allison loved Ethan not for his wealth, but for his kindness. They loved each other's goodness, and they found happiness together. And that is the story of Ethan and Allison's love, the end. Thank you for watching. This was a story by Andrew. If you liked this video and you've watched this far, leave a comment and tell us what you think about this story, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.